Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We're your host, Tyler Callahan, and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm telling you, Tyler, I don't know how I'm feeling today, but I got time.
Hopefully, you don't have time to die.
No, in fact, I have no time to die. But you
Oh,
know who did find some time to die? Yep,
uh,
that's right. We're talking full spoilers here. James Bond's dead. Get the fuck over it.
okay. Well, I gotta say, I gotta rate you on that. Maybe 5 out of 10 on the spoiler alert. But yeah. Well, we're gonna do full spoilers for this movie. Because to be honest, it's almost 3 hours long, and we can't really talk about it without spoilers. So yeah.
That's a big fact.
So yeah, we're talking about No Time to Die. It was one of the first movies to be delayed because of the pandemic. If there was no
Yep.
COVID around, we would have got it this shit last April. We'd have had it for Easter last year. That didn't happen. 18 months later, it's here. The final Daniel Craig Bond movie. And it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was solid. I mean, it's one of the better Daniel Craig Bond films.
Yeah. Yeah. Half of them, again, not a low bar. Sorry, not a high bar. Not a high bar.
Well,
Well, I,
when you
I
got
mean,
five movies, like yeah, some weren't as good as others, but would you say they're bad movies?
no, they're not. But, when you have a high of Casino Royale, I kind of do feel
Well,
bad for all the movies
when
coming
you start
after it.
off that strong,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very hard to follow up.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started because there's quite a bit to go through. This is actually a pretty packed movie. Mike, I'll kick it off with you. What did you like about the movie?
Well,
Or do you want to start with what you didn't like and get it out of the way?
let's get it out of the way.
Because I feel you
Um,
want to talk about that first.
I do. So something I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie is the main villain. He kind of seems a little underwhelming. Like he started off really strong.
Hmm.
His first opening scene I thought was fantastic. It got me excited to see him doing more.
It's very tense. It was great.
And then we just don't ever get that again.
Well,
And
I
it's
think
like,
it
all right,
doesn't help that after the opening scene, you don't
cool.
see him for a good hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, they dragged Christoph Waltz into that shit again, unfortunately. You can understand if they're like, hey, listen, we want you to return as Blowfield. He's like, I'll do it if you kill me as soon as you see me. All right, fine, you got a deal. It's like, I don't want to deal with this shit again.
Or it could be another way. He'd be
Um,
like, "Look, I'll come back if you do my character justice." He's like, no, we're gonna kill you off." And he's like, "Oh, how's that paycheck? It's looking pretty good.
well,
All right, I'll do it."
I mean, it ain't as good as Tyrese, I'll tell you that. But
Exactly, exactly.
what do you
I
mean
would agree
now?
with you. Yeah,
Very
it's
underwhelming. Unfortunately, they could go with the script though. He wasn't given a lot.
no,
It's
he
possible.
wasn't. This was a film that had a lot of rewrites.
So kind of Quantum of Solace vibe.
No, no, it's not Quantum of Solace. Quantum of Solace was they had no script because of the writer
Well,
strike.
yeah,
When Daniel
you
Craig and the
couldn't tell.
director are writing the
You,
pages a couple days before filming, that's not this.
well, you couldn't really tell. I'll give it that.
Yeah, well, when Daniel Craig's rocking on set one day, every other day, and like the director and him are going over what to exactly say as they get the set ready. It's like that's not great. The issue with No Time to
No,
Die was it was originally a Danny Boyle film, who then left. You got Fukujima, who did the first season of True Detective. So you bring in Phoebe Walter Bridges toward the end, punch up the script, you go to filming. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, you could say.
if there is.
And I mentioned to you this before, but I think with this, them knowing this is his last film, there is no like, we're gonna throw $100 million at him. He's sick and tired of it. This is it. That we're gonna do a big send off for him. They focused on giving him the send off first. That's the most important thing, and I think they succeeded. But
They did,
it
but
cost us a good
oh,
villain,
yes, it did.
and I will give you this: the issue with Rami Malek's character, and I'm not going to say his acting, because again, I assume a lot of the stuff he did is in the script. It's what the director wanted. Fine, he's doing his job. I never got a sense of dread or like a sense of
No,
like, I didn't feel scared by him.
not at all.
It's kind of the issue. Like,
He
um,
was just kind of your standard
mhm,
rich guy who's got power over people,
yeah,
or not even rich. I mean, technically, I guess he could be rich, but
even Mr. White
no.
was very like you knew there was something off about him in Casino
Yeah.
Royale, and then obviously in Quantum. And he's not even like one of the big major villains, but there's a presence about him. And same with Christoph Waltz with Blofeld, even though the movie wasn't great. You gotta like there was a presence that came off of him. I didn't get that with Rami Malek.
No, you were just kind of like, all right, is when is Rami Malek gonna cry in this scene? Is it gonna happen?
Yeah. I mean, look, his plan to I thought his plan was interesting in that he wanted to wipe the population, make the earth
But
cleaner, and
that's like every other villain
oh
though.
no,
Like
hold on,
there's
hold
nothing
on,
new
hold
about
on. I was saying it's unique, and I was looking to hear why he wanted that, but we never got it. And then at the
it.
end, it's like, oh well, he's actually just going to sell it to the highest bidder. So cool, you're just a generic arms
Bad
dealer.
guy.
Okay,
Yep. You're
whatever.
just a generic bad guy.
Because
That's all.
up until then, I thought, like, okay, well, it's kind of generic killing the population, but like, hey, he's trying to do something unique here, and no, he's just the arms dealer with a high tech weapon. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. And let's not to mention the movie ended awfully abruptly.
Yes. Hmm.
That's a thing I was not too big a fan of. They're like, all right, Bond's dead. Let's wrap this up. Let's not even talk about anything else that was going on in the story. You know,
That yeah
I'm saying, we could get into some serious shit over this, and then having no repercussions that we see.
yeah. The entire third
With
act is well, I had to tell the prime minister, the Russians, America, the Chinese are asking what we doing with the boats and the planes over the island. It's like nothing. He keeps his job. Well, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, it seems like he keeps the job.
Yeah. I'm curious what the next mission is. Maybe as a tease for, the new 00 agent, right? Don't see what she does.
Well,
Moneypenny. She's still a receptionist. Maybe.
yeah, well, listen, you shoot your shot, unfortunately. Well, she definitely shot hers.
Yeah, that bugged me
Just
because look,
so happened to be into James.
like you have us committed here. You're right at the end. I don't care that look, the movie's almost over, right? It's basically over. And it's almost 3 hours. Give us the extra 5-10 minutes to wrap up these characters because we don't know if they're coming back for the reboot. We don't.
No, definitely
You
not.
might pull an M. You might from bring like how they brought over Judi Dench. You might bring over some of these characters, but we don't know that. And the next Bond movies, let's be honest, not for another 4 or 5 years. Give us a wrap up with these characters, and we can put it to bed. But the fact that they have one toast and it's like, all right, we're done.
Yep,
Like it shows you really can't operate without Bond.
pretty much. And it's like they're like, all right, guys, let's wrap this up. See,
Which actually,
that's the funny thing about the ending. That wasn't even they were toasting to James Bond. They were toasting for the wrapping of filming. They're like, all right, last scene of filming. let's get a toast in here.
yeah, they just filmed the after party.
Why there was no dialogue after that? There was nothing after that.
Well, yeah, it was just Madeline driving back to Italy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, let me tell you about a man I once knew. Fuck you.
A man I once knew for only a few weeks who got me pregnant and then left me for 5 years, only to come back
Yep.
for another few weeks and then die saving the world.
Yep.
Like in total, like I get it,
Great
There-
man. Killed my father too.
Yep.
Uh.
Oh no, it was suicide. It was suicide.
Oh, okay.
He put the gun on the table. He didn't hand him the gun.
All right.
Come on.
You can't say he didn't hand him the gun because he didn't have a gun before James gave it to him.
But that's not James killing him. He put the gun to his head.
All right, that's the same level as Batman. Like, oh, yep, I didn't kill anybody. I just, kicked this guy in a hallway and then threw a grenade at him.
That
I wasn't the one who killed him.
no, that's not the same at all. That's not the same at all.
Okay, here's a better one. Yep, I threw this guy into a wall and then I slingshotted a fucking giant crate into him. I didn't kill him. The crate did.
That you got to stop. You're not making sense right now. That's not the same at all. If Bond threw the gun at Mr. White's face and a bullet discharged at the same time, fine, Bond killed him. But okay, fine, he killed his father or he assisted in the father's death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Severe assistance.
Severe assistance. Getting this on track. To go off your negative about how they wrapped up too fast. One of my downsides to this movie is I wanted to see more interactions between Bond and the cast.
What
Specifically,
cast?
there's a lack of Bond and Moneypenny. Q gets one or two good scenes in, but otherwise he's just on the back side. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't do a callback to Skyfall on this. I gotta say, because I remember, and this is partially because I rewatched some of the Bond films before watching this. In Skyfall, Q can't make the trip to China to give Bond the equipment because he's afraid of flying. So Moneypenny had to go.
He got over that real fast.
He got over that for this mission, for this big final mission. He had no problem being on a military, jet to help Bond out. I think maybe a quick reference to that, either from him or Bond, I think would have been nice. But I think it's a missed opportunity. And personally, I did not like M and Bond going at each other's throats for half the movie. I feel that's kind of played out.
I thought it worked well. We didn't see that at all before.
I mean, there was a little, couple snide comments here and there in Skyfall, but I feel like in Spectre, they kind of got their shit together a bit. And then now after the 5-year gap, it's like, well, fuck you. No, fuck you. Well, Felix is dead. Well, I'm sorry, but fuck you. And it's like, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
All of Spectre just died at one party, and you're arguing already. Like, come on.
Makes sense.
Come on. Oh, yeah. That's another thing that wasn't too great. It was a great action scene. But you're telling me all of Spectre, all of this high-end secret organization attends one party because they're so confident they will kill Bond and they all die.
Yeah.
Like,
well, to be fair,
yeah,
the chances were looking pretty good of them killing Bond.
I mean, yes, because even if the virus spray didn't work, they all could have just tackled and killed him.
Yep. So, there's some good opportunity for them to be able to kill him. Unfortunately for them, they also had time to die.
Oh, they did. They all had time to die that night.
Pretty much the whole movie is actually not about not having time to die. It's about just having the time to die. And a lot of people had it, let me tell you.
I mean, I know you had an issue with the title, but yeah, this title didn't really fit well.
No.
It didn't have a direct connection to anything in the movie.
Except for saying it once and you're like, oh, there it is. Roll credits.
Yeah, but like Casino Royale, okay, well, obviously that makes sense. Quantum of Solace, Full Quantum's the organization. Skyfall, the Bond's home. Spectre, organization. No Time to Die. He said the line.
Yeah, pretty much it. But I think that's enough of us kind of bitching about it. I think.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how we just spent the last 10 minutes bitching about the movie, but it's a good movie. It's actually a good movie.
It is. It actually is. It just has some problems, and if you take anything away from what we were just saying, it's because of kind of the ending. Think about it. The ending and, them just wanting to give Bond a send-off. That's really all it is.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what I said, like, they clearly focused on giving Bond a send-off, and it works. And I think it does. So let's just bring it back to the beginning. The first thing they did right is that they picked up immediately after Spectre. Immediately.
Yes.
And I love that. I also liked in how they're trying to get away. Well, as a throwback, and to kind of wrap up Casino Royale, we have Bond properly say goodbye to Vesper at her grave. I think that was one of the best moments in the film.
I thought he would have been over that already, to be honest with you.
I don't think he clearly ever was.
Yeah, I don't know, but how many times are we going to see that?
Well, I mean, at the end of Quantum of Solace, he's kind of like just cold-hearted about it. But, I think after the events of Skyfall and Spectre, like, yeah, they don't really bring it up, but, you don't really see him in a relationship afterwards.
No, you don't.
But I thought it was a touching moment.
It was.
And then, he gets blown up and all of that. Also, I really like the sound effects, the sound editing for when it blows off, and like you have the ear ringing, and like he can't hear, he's just yelling at a phone because obviously he can't hear because explosion went off for next to him. I thought it was really well done as well. Just because a lot of movies do the explosions and they're fine.
Yep.
No, he did it pretty realistically. He's slow getting up, he can't hear shit. It's like, what?
And that happened several times in the movie too.
Yeah.
And that hallway fight scene where the grenade goes off and gets blown back, he gets stunned.
It's a great track in one shot too. The action in this film, it's really
outstanding.
Good. Yeah,
I gotta say the action in this film might be the best in the Bond films.
I think it also helps that there's actually quite a bit of it compared to the previous Bond films. Like
Yeah,
Spectre didn't have that many fight scenes at all.
no, except with Batista, and that's about it.
Yeah, you got
Quantum had a little bit. I mean, not. No, I'm at Casino. Casino had a little bit.
well, Quantum had a bit as well, but that also kind of makes sense because it was kind of like a revenge spy film. Like he's just going after people, It makes sense. There's a bit more fight scenes, but also Skyfall didn't have that
Yeah.
many as well.
No,
It
not
it
too
had
many.
some, but not many. So yeah, the action in this is also great. I also do think, besides the goodbye to Vesper and all that, I think the opening sequence, the first 15, 20 minutes, was also really just well done. It showed
Yeah.
the fallout of Spectre, how, oh, shock, the rest of Spectre still runs, even though you got Blowfield, which I thought was good, because usually when, movies, you capture the main bad guy, they all just disappear. That's not how this works. But
True.
the action fight scene was great. I thought the goodbye to train was really well done. I think the time skip, though, was a little excessive. I think 5 years was a little too much, but I get what they wanted to do, especially with the kid. But what did you like about the beginning to like middle part of the movie? How they set up? Because basically the first 20 minutes is setting up the rest of the movie.
Yeah. How do I put this lightly? So once again, I like the fact that Commissioner Gordon's in it. Appreciate him.
Yep.
Outstanding actor.
He also had
Little
time to
pissy
die,
bad.
though.
Yeah, he did. He did.
did.
Once again, we're going back to the title. It's false advertising. Everyone had time to die in this movie. Everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone that was in the first movie dead. Because the original M's been dead for a while, but that's neither here or there. The whole double cross thing, I was kind of like, all right, kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, it's not too much of a shock, but yeah.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the opening scene. I thought the opening scene was great with Rami Malek's villain. Question though, how fucking old is Rami Malek? Because he looked like he could have been, in his 20s.
Yeah, that was a small issue. I mean, Madeline's what, 10 to 12 there, and now she's what, late 20s, early 30s. Yet Rami Malek doesn't age a day.
Yeah, like you're telling me he's like.
I mean, I get it. He
late
has the burnt
30s,
face
40s?
that helps cover that up a
Oh
bit,
yeah,
but come on, no gray hair, nothing.
nothing.
Like I could take his face with the makeup, put in a couple strands of gray hair, and be like, okay, there is time passed. But like from Madeline in the intro to Madeline now is easily 10 to 15 years. He hasn't aged a day.
Nope. But here we are shitting on the movie again. So great opening scene. There's a lot of tension in it. Her getting shots off at him, but she didn't watch Zombieland. Double tap.
Clearly.
She double tapped him, would have been fine. You know what? If she double tapped him, no one would have had time to die in this entire movie.
Yeah, her lack of double tapping is the entire reason this movie happens. It's her fault.
Correct. Technically, one could say that it's Madeline killed James Bond. She did.
Mm-hmm.
But James Bond coming out of retirement to end Spectre because he still has some hurt feelings about that. Apparently, makes sense. Enjoyed the whole swap of James Bond kind of getting role reversal picked up by the girl.
Yeah,
that was actually his replacement. So I thought that worked pretty well.
I think she was a good actress as well. I mean, she played like the young, cocky 007 vibe. She played that great.
Yeah, except more by the book. That's another thing I really liked about the movie. I was like, all right, when's she just gonna say fuck it and then be like, all right, James is right. A lot of these guys just need to go.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the whole Cuba action set piece as well at the party, I think it felt like a good throwback to like classic Bond, right? Yeah, you have a shootout. He's wearing the classic tux. He had him, martini. Yep. It's like that's like okay. Well, before we get super serious into this movie, here's the fun throwback. Here's Bond as you remember him, teaming up, taking out the bad guys. Because after that, it's like, well, this shit gets serious. There's a virus. He sees Madeline again. He sees everyone again. Basically, he's been gone for 5 years.
Pretty much, sees everyone.
Yeah. The one scene with Blofeld, I thought was good. Which, I mean, I do hand it off Christoph Waltz. acting his ass off, being tied in a box. He's only doing so
Yeah.
much.
I mean, he's always been an amazing actor. There's
True.
no doubt about that.
The one thing that bothered me though, and I
Once again,
understand,
and
like,
again, bro, I'm orchestrating all your pain. If you knew the secret she was holding, oh, it would kill you. I don't think the secret was that fucking big. I really don't.
I think it was though. I think it was
I don't think so.
the secret of the kid. I think it was.
Yeah, well, what's he really gonna be like? Oh shit, I think the bigger thing that kills him is the fact that he was wrong and it was actually Blowfield that, orchestrated the bombing. I think that's a bigger thing that
Well,
kills
I
him
think it's
because
that leading into the big secret. So it's not just James, like him being like, James, I used your mistrust of people against you, right? Because you thought
Yeah.
it was her, you ran away, and because of that, you missed the birth of your first kid and the first 5 years of that kid growing up.
Well, we don't know if it's his first kid or not. James Bond's been
Okay,
around.
a kid.
Yeah.
Missed the birth of a
Um,
kid.
Definitely did.
But that's the thing, like with him coming back and seeing Madeline for the first time in 5 years, I think it's all that him realizing like he was actually not under threat at all. He could have a normal life in England, 007, have a wife and kid. And because of his
Yep.
mistrust of people, and because Blofeld used that, he lost that. He can't get that back.
This is true.
So I do think him saying, like, that's the secret, that I do think it makes sense because they do mention she's the only person he talks to in the past few years. She's the only one. So I assume she
That's
brought it
true.
up at some point that she does have a
Yeah,
kid.
but
I assume they got to talking.
Why would she even tell him that? Like, oh, you know what? Let me just tell this man's arch enemy.
I
By
don't
the
know.
way,
I don't know.
yeah. Why would? Once again,
No, hold on. If you're going there, we're really going to be like MI6 did not check for his cybernetic eye? Oh, he's talking crazy. He's talking crazy to himself the past few months. No, he's giving out orders via his eyeball.
yeah. How did he even get that?
Okay, even if he had its inspector, which now is 5 years ago, no one checked him for eyes. Like, hey, this eye looks weird. No, just he's talking crazy.
No,
Got it.
no one gives a shit.
But anyway, again, this is a good movie. This is a good movie.
Yeah, I really didn't think we were gonna shit on it this much. But that being said, action in this movie, fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
That whole scene of them going through basically the nuclear launch sub, it was giving me some John Wick vibes, and I really liked it.
I mean, hey, it's the final fight. You got to go all out, and they definitely did.
And they did. They definitely did. I mean, it was a great send-off for Daniel Craig. I will say that. That is one thing it did absolutely well.
Yeah, especially at the end with the missiles coming in. It actually looked like it was well shot, was well acted, and I do like how the camera doesn't go away until right as the missiles hit the building. Like, just so you are clear, so everyone is clear, he is dead. He did not swim away. He's limping up the ladder, and the missiles hit. There's no way.
I thought they were gonna do that. I thought they were gonna do a switcheroo.
Oh, like the
oh,
missiles hit, and you see him on like the water swimming next to the island.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be a possibility.
See, when I was watching it, I wasn't sure because I was able to not be spoiled about
really
the film.
Have the balls to kill James Bond?
I thought, see, I knew it would have been a better ending if they killed them all. Sorry to all James Bond fans out there who thinks he should be invincible. I think it's a better send off with how Daniel Craig version of Bond went. He had to die. He had to die. He wasn't going to get a happy ending. But I wasn't sure if they actually had the balls to do it.
I think he got one already though.
What?
A happy end.
Well, he kind of did. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like to live happily with the wife and kid.
Yeah.
But the moment for me where I realized, oh, he's gonna die, is when Rami Malek shot him twice in the fight.
I knew that was coming. That's the funny thing.
When that happens, like
that entire clear house scene where they're clearing out the entire thing, I was like, all right, when's he getting shot? Yeah. I know it's gonna happen. Rami Malek's gonna pop up somewhere. Just pop him.
Because you haven't seen him for a while. He just walked away.
Yep. You see the other guys, but you don't see him.
Yep. As soon as he got shot twice and he's in the water, like, all right, he's not making it out here. Because they're making the big point. He's got like 8 minutes left. And now he's alive, but he can't book it out of the building. So unless they do some movie bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that he's limping up the ladder is like, all right, yeah, he's not doing it. So
Nope.
yeah,
He ain't making it.
I mean, yeah, and the ending was good. Again, just post him dying, it's they could have added the extra
Yeah.
5-10 minutes, but
Honestly, the movie probably would have been better if they just ended it right after the fucking missiles.
yeah, I would agree with you. I'd agree with you.
Because at least he didn't have the bullshit afterwards where you're like, all right, well, nothing else really fucking happened except for they're trying to do like a corny send off. I think it would have been a more like jaw dropping ending. Like, boom, missiles
Boom,
hit James Bond dead.
cut
Roll
the black,
credits.
run the credits. Yeah, I think yeah, it would have been a more explosive ending because like the scene with Madeline in the car back to Italy, no one cares. No one really
Yeah,
does.
no,
No, no, it's
fuck you as
cool,
well.
cool. You're going back to where you got pregnant. Okay. You're also going back to where he dumped you for 5 years, but okay, sure.
Yep.
And then yeah, like the scene with them, having a drink to Bond. It's like it's too short to matter.
Yeah, and they don't really do anything with it.
Yeah, no, I like your idea better. Like the missiles hit, cut to black, you hear the ringing of like the missiles, and then just cut to music and then credits.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better way to end it.
Would have been more impactful. Would have left people shocked. Like that's how it ends. Just
Yeah,
boom, you see the missiles
but
hit
then
them, and
again,
that's it.
that would probably piss people off too. It definitely would.
Well, I feel when I've been reading some of the die hard core Bond fans, like they're not happy he died anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's gonna happen regardless, there, pal. Daniel Craig is getting pretty fucking old, and he was looking in this movie. He was.
He was in some scenes, yeah, definitely. I mean, again, you're playing a character 15, 16 years. You're gonna look old at some point.
It's true. I mean,
But
listen, if Wolverine could have a death, James Bond deserves one as well.
exactly. I think let's get the recommendations. As
Yep,
much as we had complaints about the movie, and I'm sorry, we need to stress it again. It is a good movie.
yes,
It's a recommendation for me. Yes, you should watch it.
100%. I'm recommending this movie because despite as many problems as we were pointing out with the movie, it's really good. It
It is.
really is. It does a lot of things well. You know, the ending just isn't one of them.
Again, it's not the worst. It's just could
No,
have been a little better.
absolutely. You know, let's put it this way. If I were to rank the movies, I would probably say Quantum of Solace is in last place,
Hmm.
right? That's what I'm just saying. Nope. Sorry, not a fan. Then it's
Okay, look, you don't have
Spectre.
to keep rubbing it in. All right, move on with the list.
Then it's Spectre because that movie was kind of buns, if you're asking me. Then I would probably put No Time to Die. Easily third place by a long shot too.
Hmm. Okay.
By a long shot. Because the only reason why it doesn't beat out Skyfall for me is Skyfall had probably the strongest villain in any Bond movie. So when you have a good villain, that's pretty much it helps carry the movie and make it greater, you know?
And obviously, first place will be a Casino Royale.
Because come on, like that's no questions asked. Casino was, I'm gonna say it. Everyone can fight me on it in the comments. Casino was the best James Bond movie ever made.
All right.
It is.
Well, my list is actually quite a bit different from yours. Uh, Last place is
Sweet.
Spectre.
Yep, saw that coming.
Yeah. Fourth place, Quantum of Solace. Third place, Skyfall. Second place, No Time to Die, and then obviously first place, Casino Royale. Reason for my switch, obviously, if anyone's listened to any of the previous Bond discussions, that I prefer Quantum of Solace over Spectre just in general. They're both pretty close, but I prefer that one over the other. As for No Time to Die being second place, I agree with you. The villain in Skyfall is better. However, the third act, I just in general was not a fan of in total. Meanwhile, here the only issue with the third act is the
Yeah.
last 5 minutes of the movie,
Well, guess what? I didn't have any problems with the last 5 minutes of Skyfall, did I?
and that's why it's your second place.
Oh, and the villain.
At least we can all agree Casino Royale is still the best of the bunch.
Yeah, there's no questions asked about that. Sorry to disappoint everyone who says otherwise. Nah, that's the one, Chief. That is the one.
Mm-hmm.
But as always, what were your thoughts on No Time to Die? Where do you rank it in your Bond films, the Daniel Craig ones exclusively? And do you agree with our decisions? If not, let us know in the comments below. As always, you can find us at Entertainment Expansion on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. As always, thank you for listening.